You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. Only on 101.3 Jams.
IMHO Talk Show. Sir Charles A.A. Ron. And as promised, IMHO family, listeners, we are live. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Whether you're on the 101.3 FM dial, 101jams.com, your favorite FM streaming app, or check this out. We're going to direct some traffic. This is what I want y'all to really tell a friend, tell a friend. Tell your mama, your daddy, your sister, brother, cousin, the dude in the alley.
Uncle Chico that only come over for the chitlins.
That's right. Everybody. That we are live on YouTube, the Tizu. We are on, and so y'all can go right now. The link is in our bio on our IG page to see the live video stream on YouTube. It's on the 101 Jams Facebook page. It is on the IMHO Facebook page. And make sure you subscribe. Don't just tell and go and look at it, but subscribe and share it. Please do, because we are here for you. All right? That's what we do. And speaking of being here for you, while Aaron and I were out here being our honest selves, being our authentic selves as black males, my man Nick Wright from WGC Today was waiting in the wing.
Hey, what's going on? Appreciate you guys having me.
What's up?
I heard the discussion.
Yeah, man.
K-Dot, Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and give us your professional opinion. Tell us how we wrong, Nick.
All right,
tell us how we wrong.
Let me preface. No, because I'm going to put him on the spot.
All right. Let's do it.
So we were talking about him being canceled. Let's be clear.
Okay.
Canceled means that, you know what that means. Get him out of here. He shouldn't have no show. He shouldn't have no voice.
All right.
So just make sure. I just want to be clear. That's all.
I mean, I'm open to the freedom of speech, but I'm still, this is PG-13, so I can't tell you how I really feel. That's where I'm at with Kevin Samuels. Get him up out of here. I feel like Kevin Samuels is too degrading to black women. He's always calling them mediocre. And I feel like black women, man, they work too hard. And you're going to let this man, stop letting this man break up your household. Kevin Samuels has boosted my couples counseling. Literally.
That's deep, yo.
But that's a good thing.
That's deep.
No, it's not. That's canceled.
No, man. They talking about the problem, dude. No.
Man, no. Their relationship was working out well, and then Kevin Samuels came. And Kevin felt like he had the desire to tell men how to be men. Don't let that man mess up your household.
And I agree with you because there's certain aspects of what he says that I agree with and I don't agree with. Right. I agree with what you just said. It's like, look, if your car is driving fine, don't look at the Audi next door. Keep driving the car the way your thing need to be driving. Right. So I'm with you. You can't take in every message. And not even just Kevin Samuels. There's a lot of things that I like that I don't listen to. Yeah. I don't listen to this. I don't listen to this. Yeah. Just because it's popular in pop culture don't mean it need to be for me and my family, my relationship.
Right. Now, Nick, so my thing is, like, how do we filter it, though? Because, again, all right, so there's some people who misinterpret messages. Yeah. Sometimes that message wasn't for you, kind of like Aaron was just saying. So for the folks who listen to it and be like, yo, I feel like the brother's telling me that if I'm expecting so much out of other people, then I need to expect that much more out of myself. So is that so because of the way that he's portraying it, and it may not just be him, let's kind of get off of him. Yeah. But like anybody out there that's at risk of being canceled just for the simple fact of you are blunt with your message, is that enough? Or does the reward outweigh that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can kind of see where you're going with it. I think for consumption of information, right? So if we're looking at it from that perspective, that the reality is, I don't know where I got it from, but sip through the straw, don't drink through the cup. So, don't just indulge in Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels is not the gospel, right? You can take bits and pieces and filter through it, but he's also an entertainer. And don't let him mess up your household. It's like telling your girl or your significant other not to have a whole bunch of single friends and y'all married or y'all in a relationship. Because now she's going to look at those single things like, man, they living the life. Yeah, but that's not the reality. You know, they want to have that significant other. It's nice. Love is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And Kevin Samuels always talks about the pros, but we also got to look at the cons, right? Because the pros sell themselves, and that's a project management standpoint. The pros always sell themselves, but you got to look at the cons and see if that's worth dealing with. Kevin doesn't talk about that, and Kevin needs to talk about some other races and get off my black women.
So to be totally clear, like we stay uplifting our sisters and give them their credit because I know Aaron and I've talked about they've had to the shoulder so much because we were absent. And when I say we, I'm talking about, like the general plural, we as black men, not being there sufficiently for our households and our community, right? So no disrespect at all. But the part that I do get, though, is that I don't care if you black, white, I don't care what color woman you are. If you out here raggedy and dusty, as they say, but you want six figures, a six-figure, you know what I mean? And you want like all this lifestyle, but you don't match up to it, bro. I mean, you can get called out about that. To me, that ain't disrespecting my sisters,
Yeah.
And I think and I want to get into some of the things we're going to talk about to him, but I also realize what Kevin does show me is that what a materialistic society we have become. Because a lot of the things that we're talking about, a lot of the things we're talking about are kind of like, well, we're not talking about healthy relationships. Right. We're just trying to get you into, the woman is calling to say, I want this relationship with this kind of guy, and he's giving you the information, but I'm stopping and even saying to myself, well, you didn't say you want a healthy relationship, an honest man, a man of integrity, or anything in the nature. Right. You just say, if you can get me a Beamer and I can stay home with these babies, I feel good. Yeah. And you and I both know that is not how healthy relationships work. Yeah,
and that's what Kevin, that's his focal point. But in all actuality, I have great women who are engaged in a rocky relationship because Kevin Samuels makes this man believe or that their significant other is now materialistic. She wasn't materialistic when they got together. She cares about you as a person. She don't care if you're a truck driver. She doesn't care if you own the CEO of a company, if you're an everyday people, hard worker. She doesn't care. She just wants somebody who's loyal, allows her to have an opinion, and respects her for being the woman that she is. And
I feel you.
Kevin makes people think that everybody materialistic, and that's not the case. It's a lot of great women.
Great point, man.
I feel you. 100%. No, man, thank you, man, and thank you for even chiming in on that. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Nicholas Wright, WGC today, counselor. That's how we do it. We throw you in the deep end up in here, Nick. You know us by now. Throw you right in the deep end. Hey, man, but on a very serious note, and but it's gonna be just as touchy because let's be real with our people. Like this is, like when you sit at the table with us, it's family convo. Y'all know that by now, family. So Nick, WGC today, man, we asked a brother to come on to talk about sports and mental health because what's apparent, and I want your take, Nick, on, are more of our black, celebrity stars, just folks in the limelight about their mental health, partially because we as a community are more receptive to, therapy and counseling now more so than we've ever been, just in general to black families that, I know that there's folks who, say God will take care of it. We were preaching that for years, but now, like because of our sort of evolution, we are more receptive to it. Is that why we're seeing more of it? But on the flip side, I want us to be as real as we can be because, like I said, I'm sensitive to mental health. We all should be going through some sort of therapy to deal with past traumas and all that. I'm sure you brothers would agree. Yeah. But on the flip side, where's that line of us sometimes toughing through? Like, I'm trying to say this very respectfully because anybody who has a serious mental health issue, I'm not trying to make light of it, seriously. But some may say, athletes have been like out in the limelight forever. Yeah. Athletes have had pressure forever. Why is it now that it's okay to step back? Like, why is it now okay to say that even though I'm making millions of dollars to do this, I have the right to step back? Just a question.
Yeah.
Like, but start however you want to start, though, Nick.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think first and foremost, we got to change the stigma surrounding mental health, especially as it comes to sports. I'm not going to dive into, like, toxic masculinity today, but I mean, there's a lot going on, right? So you get hurt on the football field, you're a Pee Wee sports player, throw some dirt on it. You'll be all right. all the way to push through, right? So there is that line. Get back on defense versus get some mental health or see a counselor, right? So there is that line. And I think it comes down to the reality of knowing your player and knowing that person. And also we got to change the stigma surrounding it. The way we treat mental health now is the way that they treated concussions like 20 years ago. If you're feeling depressed, just go sleep it off. But that's not the way that it is. Athletes have an anxiety attack. Oh, just tell them to calm down.
Right.
Just calm down. No, we care more about physical ailments than we do mental ailments.
Man, I
needs to change.
I gotta say this because you said it. So one of the things, did you watch the NBA Finals?
A little bit.
So the best player on the court, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Ooh, good job.
I said that good.
Big
Marshall,
facts.
I did that good. But in the beginning of the games, he was so hyper. He had to call himself out of the game, take a breather, take a rest. And the commentators were saying, I've never seen a guy because we're so used to, Jordan wouldn't do that and all this foolishness. And I'm like, but the transparency of him to say, I'm too hyped, I cannot perform at this level. I need about 3 or 4 minutes to get myself together. What you just said, it triggered that because I'm like, I just saw somebody perform at the top of the line that had to even take himself out of the game. How important is it for us to see those images of these people that we worship taking a break in a moment for themselves?
No, it's very important. I mean, let's normalize it, right? Serena Williams, Delonte West, Terry Bradshaw, Ronda Rousey, Ricky Williams, Miami Dolphins, right? All these people have experienced anxiety and depression, and these are all elite athletes at the highest level. And we got to pay attention to it because if you see somebody, these people don't want to take off for their mental illness concern. They're an athlete. You know, if you give up your spot, someone's going to try to outperform you. These different things are going on. And there's also that stigma. People are even afraid to even go into a counselor office because they're like, man, I'm one of those people. I mean, honestly, if you're out there and you're listening, raise your hand if you've ever had a physical ailment. All right? Now, raise your hand if you've ever been depressed or wanted to go to see a counselor. There's usually an awkward pause.
To admit that. Right.
That's the stigma right there. It shouldn't be like that.
Right.
You know, if someone walks in with their ankle swollen and they're limping, the trainer's going to make you take a day off. They will make you not play. But if you say, hey, coach, I'm having insomnia and depression, you're just looked down upon.
Yeah.
You can't handle it. Right. You're not mentally tough. Right. That's what they say. Yeah.
You're weak for wanting a break. So we have to change that stigma. And I think that's what we kind of saw, right? In the Olympics, a couple weeks, this past week, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, by Simone doing what she needed to do for herself, I think that really helped the culture in terms of the mental health aspect. Because in all actuality, I mean, I got a lot of athletes on my roster unintentionally, but I'm glad that, you know, I'm here for it. But life during sports and then also life after sports.
That's true.
It's a lot for these athletes as it relates to anxiety, depression, performance anxiety. You go to sleep, you wake up, we're 1 minute late. Everybody on your team has to run extra drills because you're late to practice. And then at that point in time, they looking at you like, come on, what you doing? In all actuality, you're still having crying spells throughout the week.
Right.
So you got to have that safe space to land and find that balance. It helps if you can keep that routine in place. I encourage the coaches to know their player, sometimes it helps to just focus on the now and get that breathing down. And, of course, sleep hygiene, and don't hesitate to reach out. But, I mean, it's toxic.
I was just going to add one more thing, Charles, to what he said, too, real quick. I think people they don't also understand, and let's just look at Simone for a second. This is 4 years of preparation, work, practice, every day with coaches to get to, you and I know, this is the pinnacle. This is what I'm here to perform for. And if you take off this, we need to be looking at this, okay, this was serious, because this is what she's here for. She's the face of the Olympics. And people are questioning her. I'm like, she's been doing this every day for the last 4 years to get to this point. And for her to say, I can't handle this now, and there's something going on, it's a lot more serious. To me, it's a lot more serious than we all even know.
Not to mention the athletic trainer that was sexually assaulting the young ladies. in gymnastics.
Yeah, she was still dealing with that. Yeah,
100%.
Trauma exists, and I mean, it's one thing to be like, get back on defense, and I mean that is respected in a sense as it relates to certain sports. But if a student says, "Hey, coach, I'm not good," that's a good relationship.
Yeah. Wow.
He actually spoke to you. He or she actually spoke to you. So we want to make sure that that platform is available for the athletes to say, "Hey, I'm not good," and you need to receive it and help that student, because you can really change their life. You know, the idea of hurry up, get back out there. He's soft, she's soft. You know, we gotta encourage mental health counseling. I've worked with a couple teams as it relates to just doing some positive affirmations. And just help them with their breathing before practice. Sometimes even just doing that stretching workout with the track teams, you see a lot. Prolific, shout out to Prolific. They do a lot of mental health mixed in with their exercise routines as well.
Right.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Man, it's something that I'm still struggling with a little bit, y'all. Like, I got to be real. Like, let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
Because like everything that we're saying is real about like the sensitivity and the importance of self-awareness and knowing your limit, right? Knowing your threshold.
Sure.
But at the same time, man, like I just fear, because of what I'm already seeing in society, that we don't make too many excuses. Like I fear that we are making too many excuses. Like you feel what I'm saying? It's like, because there's a very thin line to me, like that we're drawing, and I just don't want to underestimate that, because to me that thin line is like, I see like I also see a culture of, if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. And I just don't want those lines to be blurred, because I see that getting blurred. You know what I mean? And
I agree with that.
You follow me?
Yeah, no, I
like
agree
accountability
with that.
counts.
Yeah,
But I think as it relates to athletes, it's different though, because they want the ship. They want to go. But if you're crying every single day, but you're still showing up, you gotta ask for help, and that's the reality that the athletes really experience. And they can't show hurt. They can't show emotion. That's the line. Now, if you're just talking about a teenager who doesn't want to get a job, they want to hang out with their friends all summer. Now that's a different line.
Right.
I'm depressed.
But that's where I'm going with it, though.
You're not depressed. You need to get.
Thank you.
We got to find that balance.
Yo, man, you dick a bomb, man. You need a bomb for saying that. That's for sure.
But the difference is, right, so when it comes to mental health, it's really about cross-discipline. Right? So is it affecting you in multiple areas of your life? Now, if you only get depressed when it's time to clean up,
guess what? You ain't depressed.
It's time for you to get hype and clean up. Now, we need to work on some techniques.
That's a fact. Cross-discipline.
You guys can relate to this, right?
Big.
The best way to clean up, turn some music on.
Get the trap going. Get the Jeezy going.
Marvin.
Jeezy helped me clean up good.
So it's the techniques, right? So we can teach that teenager the techniques to help you with that area.
Right.
But as it relates to depression, we don't want to minimize it and say it doesn't exist, because it does amongst teenagers and everyone, especially men. Men, I mean, look, men are the highest with suicide rates as well, right? So we want to be
very high. Yep.
Be respectful of that as well. But again, it's about cross-discipline. Is it happening at school? Is it happening in your social life? Is it happening at work? Is it happening? Is it happening in all these different areas? You know, when you're trying to have recreation time, are you having panic attacks? Are you having panic attacks just when it's time to go to work, or are you having panic attacks related to when it's time to go on vacation as well? You know, so now we can say, okay, there's some substance behind this. And we're also looking at frequency. How long has this been going on, and how often are these things happening in a time span? And then we can kind of paint the picture. But I mean, a lot of these things can present themselves in different ways. They can be, biological predispositions, so genetically passed down. It's just the reality of mental health. Come see a counselor. Come check us out, WGCtoday.com. We're here to help. I mean, we got free 15-minute consultations to help people get involved and get enrolled. Right now, we're accepting Anthem insurance. The billing person I have working for me is in the process of getting us connected with Cigna, United, Anthem.
What's up, man.
I'm already with Anthem, Aetna, and getting some medication. Yeah, you hear me?
Like everybody.
Not everybody,
but trying to get there. Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
That's my favorite price too. That free $99 that he said.
Charles, he got a job. Make sure he pay.
Can you fix all my problems in that 15 minutes?
I've had people try. Set up multiple 15, and the way I'm set up, man. I care. So I'm sitting there trying to talk to him and give him some techniques. And you know what? Just try back next week. Let's space it out. Let's do bi-weekly.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
No, man, Nick, thanks as always, man. Always great insight. Definitely love it coming from a fellow brother. Good talk, man. I hope y'all really learn from it and follow up with Nick and the services that he offers. Because it's so deep and so important, especially our youth. As he mentioned, you could be a high school athlete. You could just be feeling the pressures as an adult in whatever you do. But that mental health, self-awareness is so important.
Yeah, I was going to ask you real quick if we got time. How do you guys feel about, concussions as it relates to sport of football?
I can answer this question directly. No, I can answer this question directly.
Yeah.
My son was playing youth football in a league where we live about maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
During that season, he had 3 concussions. Ask him if he's played another down of football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to pay attention to it.
That was a me decision.
I ain't mad.
And he's asked consistently and constantly, I want to play. But his level of drive is because my guys are there. He's hooped or whatever. He's good at other things. Mm-hmm. But I said the next one could cause permanent damage.
Right.
Now,
and I'm not willing to. No, not even at a high level.
Football?
Yeah, I played basketball in high school a little bit. Yep. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, when people, you watch those movies, and when people started really describing, it's like basically running into a wall at a certain speed every time, and the body's not designed to do that. They're gladiators, but I don't know the long term. Just now in the last 10 years have we been starting to really figure out what's been happening.
Right.
Can you imagine if we were doing research for 50 years? Mm-hmm. We might not even have a sport. So you just got to know your kids. I think the thing you said is you have to know your child. You have to know their temperament. You have to know whether or not, I don't know, man, but as you know, we've been seeing a lot of stuff in the news, and it's not been good.
Yeah.
It has not been good, man. But that's just my take.
But I think the toxic masculinity that Nick talked about feeds into it as well.
Right.
Because I don't agree with you be like, oh, like you're a boy, you're supposed to be out there playing such and such sports. But if the kid ain't made out for him, then you just sort of like sending a lame duck out there. You know what I mean? Right. So it's
that is not good.
Yeah. So it's good, and I applaud you for that. That you didn't let that toxicity, interrupt your parenting, and you was focused on what was best, for his health.
Yeah. No, I just think about the Junior Seau, the Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
Just those people that just take all those hits. I mean, you got to find that balance. If your kid's reaching out and they're saying, "I don't want to play anymore," after a big hit or something to that atonement, let's look at track. Let's look at, there's so many more sports. Because I'm all about scholarship skills in my household. You don't got to play football.
That's right.
You don't got to play basketball, but you're going to get you a scholarship skill. So whatever that looks
like. And
it's
it's all tools, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Academic scholarship, sports scholarship, tools, man. The last thing I'll say to you, because you made me think of it, so everybody remember Dominique Dawes, the former Olympic gymnast.
Yeah.
So she has her own gym, and one of the things she pointed out was that in her gymnastics organization, she said the goal is never Olympics. Because she knows the culture there, and she knows the toxic culture and the stresses that come with it. She said number one is to make you a happy adult, right? And just happy within whatever your level of performance is.
Right.
But this Olympic goal and selling yourself to achieve these goals, at the sake of your well-being, she said she's totally against it. So I definitely applaud her for that.
Even golf. I think more people should look at golf. There's this guy I follow on Instagram, Clay Winnell. He does this, you can send him a video of your golf swing, and he'll fix it. And he'll reply back to you and give you a tip on what you need to do. Dope. So I really enjoy watching him. He's a good one. He always does Tuesdays in Dallas. I don't know. He's got a good golf swing, though.
Man. So many resources, man.
It's so many people that come into golf late. I mean, we love golf, but it's like our retirement sport.
Yeah, a bunch of us, we out here looking like Chuck, looking like Charles Barkley at this joint.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have just been talking to Nick Wright of WGC today, and y'all follow his IG if you don't follow nothing else, because the brother got some of the best motivational videos I've ever seen. Shouts out to him for that. But Nick, man, continued success, man, and thank you for the service you provide to the community.
Thank you. I appreciate being a part of it. Again, WGC Today, WGC Today on Instagram or WGCtoday.com.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Until next time, Nick, and y'all stay tuned.
You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis, only on 101.3 Jams.